Good day, folks. I figured a little bit a different video. I want to show where I grew up in South America, Paraguay, and this is our house where we lived in, where my parents currently still living in. That window what is closed there with the two shutters there. That was our bedroom where what ours was when we lived still at home. And so this is how the houses are built in South America, Paraguay. So I figure what else better than show you from something from back home where I'm originally from. This is where the garden was in the back of the house. This part is the back of the house. My dad has a few hundred acres there, and that's where we had cattle in there, and where the garden is out there. You see my parents still have some plants there, and the whole thing, it looks so familiar still remember back when I was young, sitting underneath this roof as a family together, family gathering. And this video has been taken by my nephew in South America, Paraguay. I asked him to take this for me. I'm going to show you a tractor where I am growing up with. I think it's in 1960 or what that is. And that is a very old Volvo 320. That is a Massey Ferguson tractor right there. This is my dad's barn where he has all his equipment underneath. This is the tractor. It's in Volvo 320. I've been growing up on the tractor with this. And it is been fun back when, and it's still nice to see how the tractor is still alive and that the tractor is still working. We have done a lot of work with the tractor. That is a disker to disc the garden. There is some of my parents' motorcycles. My dad's truck. He has a Toyota truck. This is the big barn where all that equipment is in. What he still has. This roof where he's walking underneath right now, that is new. It wasn't when I was back home. And right in front of you guys, that's a chicken barn, what my parents still have there. They have lots of chickens in there. Right straight in front of you, that is where we had the cattle in when we were milking, still milking at home when we were still home. This are tanks what we built in Paraguay to store water there. Right there you see there are two of them. My brother, he made them for my dad with bricks and cement. That is where the cattle used to be all in. My dad still has cattle, but he's a cattle farmer. He is not milking anymore. That he left already. But that is good to see the farm still there where I grew up and where I am already in Canada. We moved to Canada, me and my wife, when we got married. We moved to Canada in 1999. This is the milking parlor or whatever they call it, where we were milking. and he's gonna go inside yet. We'll show you from the inside. This is the inside. There is the milk machine to your right. That machine is still there. When I was at home, we used that for milking. And this is where the cows came up, and we were milking the cows there. This is where the cows come down and then back into the corral. So we could do 4 cattle at the same time, what we could milk, and they eat food there right here in front of you. That's where the calves were in. We let the calves come up to drink a little bit milk on the cow, and then we start taking the milk off. Milk the cows there. And that my dad built another shop. He is going to go back to the other side where my dad built a scale to scale the cattle and everything, to work with the cattle. Right there in front of you, there's where the cattle come in, and if he has to inject them or scale them, he has a scale so that he can scale the cattle. Right there, that's where the cattle come inside. They walk along there, and then they inject them. Right in front of you guys can see the scale there. And right after the scale, that's where they go when you want to load them. Then you put them back the truck onto there, load them up. And there you can see the house a little bit from the corral. That's a nice corral what we had there. That's still the old corral what was back then when I was at home. Right in front of you guys, there's that one tree to your right where the water is. That's where they used to have another house there, and that was for the natives to live in. That was our workers to help. Right there in front of you, that's where the scale is. So they bring the cattle into there, and then they scale the cattle there. And then straight ahead there, the bushes way out in the back, what you see, that's where the cattle are, and where we used to always have the milking cows, and now he has just feeding cattle. You will see here a little bit problem with the phone. He had a little bit problem with that. Falling on the side. It's gonna come back shortly again. That is where we went, where we brought the cattle along the fence there. There we go. Now the camera is straight up. This is the fence. You see cattle right ahead of you guys. That's where my dad has the cattle, and where he has his feeding cows also. This is where, straight ahead of you guys, that's where the cattle walk along when we bring the cattle in. So this way at least you guys can see a little bit where I grew up, and I'm gonna start doing more videos also from South America, Paraguay, to show you guys different things. They just had a little bit of rain here, not much, just a little bit of rain, and so it is a little bit better here now. But there's another place in Paraguay where it's very, very dry. And you're going to see that after this video. You're going to see the other video where that is a town probably about 100 kilometers apart from this one to the other one. And it is very, very dry on the other one. Here it's still a little bit dry. You see there's some spots, a little bit drier spots. And but it start looking a little bit better since they had a rain there. If you guys look to your right of the screen, you see the house there. That's where we live. And so he is on his way back towards the house. So he's gonna come back to the corral, and he is gonna. That's where the gates are, where we let the cattle in and out. He is on his way to the corral, so you guys gonna see. If you guys look straight, a little bit to the right of the screen where the corral is, right there, he is showing the house, the barn, and all that. That's where the barn is, and that's where the corral is. So he is coming straight into the corral, and that's right to your left a little bit. That's where the semi trucks are backing onto there, and then they load up the cattle. So to transport the cattle out. So here he is in a corral, back again where he was before. What I told you, where they have where we have been milking. So he is going across the road now, and the screen is a little bit tipped here again. So he had a little bit problems with his phone there again. So, but that is, he is going to the other part. He doesn't realize it here right now that his phone is not straightening out. That is a little bit of water lagoon there, what we make in Paraguay. There's another one for cattle to drink. So sometimes cattle they have no water. So in Paraguay, almost everything goes by lagoons. Like they dig the ponds there, and then they have a pond or a big lagoon or whatever. That's how we have water for the cattle. This is where he doesn't realize where the camera is still, but you're gonna see. I think he's turning far enough yet where the windmill is, and that windmill it is for filling up the tank, so that the tank has with the hose, and it's pushing the water out again towards the trays where the cattle have in every field where they're in, they have right there. So now this is my dad's cattle out there, you guys can see, and nice and green after the little rain what they had there. Beautiful. So, well, thank you very much, guys. If you enjoyed it, please leave me a comment, leave me a big fat thumbs up, and we'll talk to you later.